Hi everybody, Mrs. Z here. So we're going to go over the scuba diving lesson today. Let's do the keywords first. Let's review those. Air tank, a container filled with air used for breathing. So this on the back of him, the scuba diver, is the air tank. And so it connects to his face mask so he can have oxygen because people can't breathe underwater, so they need air. Treasures, things that have value. Ocean, a large body of salt water. Lessons, classes to learn skills. So if you want to learn something new, you would have to take lessons. You would have to learn that thing, that skill. Okay, now let's look over our predictions, what we think the story is going to be about. I think the story will be about a person scuba diving in the ocean looking for treasure. Let's go ahead and read the story. When you see a lake or an ocean, do you want to know what is under the water? Many people do. So they learn how to dive down into the water. They take lessons to scuba dive. The lessons teach safe ways to dive and swim underwater. Scuba divers use scuba gear. The gear they wear is a face mask, a wetsuit, a belt, and swim fins. Scuba divers can dive from 60 to 130 feet down. They can stay underwater because they have an air tank. They use the air tank in the tank to breathe. With one air tank, a diver can stay underwater for 1 hour. There are many things to do underwater. Some scuba divers work under the water. They fix ships or look for lost treasures. Other divers study the ocean. Many dive just for the fun of watching fish. Okay, so let's look at our questions here. Okay, so number 1, what is the main idea of the story? The main idea, what's the overall story about? Okay, many people like to scuba dive. Scuba divers study the ocean. Scuba divers need gear and lessons. So let's look back. Scuba divers do need gear and lessons, but that's not the whole story. That's not what the whole story is about. And scuba divers, some do study the ocean, but not every person. And that's not what the main idea was about the story. So I picked A. Many people like to scuba dive. Number 2, what do scuba lessons teach people? How to stay away from sharks? No, that was never in there. How to swim safely underwater? Yeah, we learned that. How to stay on top of the water? No, that's not scuba diving. So both of those are wrong. It would be A. How to swim safely underwater. What does gear mean in this story? Things you need to do something. A part of a car to be in working order. So let's look back. Gear was the gear they wear is a face mask, a wetsuit, a belt, and swim fins. So gear in this story would be things you need to do something. They need all those things to scuba dive. Number 4, what piece of gear does a diver need most? A face mask, an air tank, or swim fins? Well, swim fins and a face mask would probably be good to have if you are scuba diving, but an air tank is the most important, right? Because we need air in the tank to breathe. People can't swim underwater without having air because we can't breathe. So it would be an air tank. That's the most important. Okay. So why do people scuba dive? People scuba dive to work underwater, look for treasure, and more. And then now it's time to write your retell of the scuba diving. So what you got from the whole story. Okay. And I hope you enjoyed the story on scuba diving, and I'll see you next time.